How's it going, y'all? My name's Drolet, and welcome to my channel. On this channel, I hope to explore movement and technique for climbing, as well as, more broadly, explore learning. I think that learning is one of the most enjoyable aspects of life, and it's one of the main things that really drew me to climbing. Every time you climb, whether that's indoors or outdoors, or honestly, anytime you even train for climbing, there's always something to learn. And as we learn, there's always better ways to apply that for better growth and to really instill and solidify knowledge and technique. So, my hope here is to kind of go through that with y'all. There are a lot of things that I believe when it comes to movement and technique and learning that I would like to share, but also, this entire project, this channel, is about me learning as well. I think that one of the best ways to learn is to teach. And I have a lot of ideas. I've been coaching for over 8 years now, and I am obsessed with movement and technique and how you learn them. How do we apply them? What even is technique? What Whenever we watch someone climb, what is pretty climbing versus effective climbing? And what is someone who's very strong versus someone who has good technique? Are those false dichotomies? Are those really two different things? Is it a blend? Do we even have answers for these things? What is important and what isn't? There's so many things to explore in this world of climbing, and the cool thing is it's really a new frontier. When we look at technique and climbing, there are kind of two schools of thought. One will say, oh, we have these prescriptive methods. You need to do these things with your feet, your hands, your hips. There are absolutes, these truths that we must follow. But then on the other hand, there's a school of thought that says, no, those don't really matter. The goal is to feel, and it's about this individualized approach, and it's more about intuition rather than specific execution. I think that the truth is somewhere in the middle. I do believe that there are foundational rules and archetypes for movement that we should explore. And I use the word explore because I don't think we really have that foundation yet. I believe that we're missing a lot. We have good ideas, we have these little kernels of truth, and maybe a lot of hypotheses that we work with, but wow, there's so much more to develop and not only understand from the bare bones, this is what technique looks like and what it should be for different people in different situations, but how do we apply it? How do we learn it? How do we say, okay, this is a skill that's important? How do we develop it? And then once we develop it, how do we apply that to different climbs? And from there, how do we strength train to support these techniques and these movements? These are all things that I hope to really dig through and explore with this channel and alongside with y'all. I don't pretend to know all the answers. I'm still trying to learn every single day. And if I say anything on this channel where you think, oh, that's a unique perspective, but I have something else that I would like to add to this, or maybe you completely disagree, leave a comment. Let's have a discussion about it. I don't want this to be me standing on a soapbox telling all of you that you're wrong, I'm right, and I have the answers. I want this to be a discussion. I'm hoping to learn from y'all. I would rather be challenged and proven wrong rather than continue to just bludgeon y'all with information and convince myself that I'm correct. My goal is to be less wrong over time. 5 years from now, I hope that I look back and say, okay, well, I tried, but there are things that I will would improve upon. With this channel, I've got a bunch of different ideas that I want to explore that range from how do we learn techniques? What even are techniques? What is technique in general? To how do we apply them? How do we train for them? And then what are we maybe getting wrong? What are the things that we're focusing too much on? What are we not focusing enough on? What are some maybe different ideas that I have that might not be widely accepted within climbing, but I think should be? And as we continue to go through this, I'd love for you to tell me, what would you like to see out of this? What is not being discussed enough in training for climbing, especially in the movement realm, but physical training is great too, and that's something I also love to discuss. What is discussed too much? What am I saying things that when you hear, you think, I'd like to hear more about that? Or what if we approach that from a different angle? Let me know. What would you like to see come from this channel? I'm going to explore my ideas for a while. But as you contribute, I'm going to continue incorporating those things. So leave comments. Let's have discussions. I hope that I can continue to grow as a coach and as a climber as much from this channel as y'all can.